So we graded the review. I'll grade yours when you turn them in. We're gonna watch a video, a couple videos on population pyramids that I'll post on the Google page for you guys if you can't see them on here. You guys want to pull those shades? Maybe they can see it if we do that. And turn the light off.
What? Oh, wait, PE then. We've been PE 3 days in a row.
This is kind of like the one we watched before, except this is just looking at the world today.
Did I grab that?
So it requires you to read.
We don't have it today.
Seven.
I'm 7 million. 7 years. No, that's impossible. I don't feel like 7 million people could fit in Los Angeles.
I think they could. Shoulder to shoulder, yeah.
No.
6 feet apart, it'd fill my
No, 7 million people cannot fit in this.
Yeah, I don't think that's right.
No, according to it, it can, so I'm trusting it.
It's National Geographic.
Maybe if you're standing at each other's shoulders, there's 10 foot tall pyramid. 10 feet tall.
We can test it.
You were standing.
Yeah.
We were like
Yeah,
inside.
everyone's gonna test it and then I'm gonna be
Last
like,
year,
well, my mom doesn't
some of them need this, like, waited.
7 million is pretty.
Earth is a complicated place. There are a lot of us that share this planet together, and it's sometimes difficult to understand who everybody is and what everybody believes. To understand things a little better, let's shrink the entire world population down from 7.5 billion people all the way down to just 100 people.
Yeah,
Let's
everybody watch
watch it again.
this.
Let's watch it again.
Let's watch this one. Let's see.
That was a good.
history have there been so many people on Earth as right now. Our numbers have skyrocketed from 1 billion in 1800 to 2.3 billion in 1940, 3.7 billion in 1970, and 7.4 billion in 2016. The world population increased fourfold in the last century, so what can we expect for the next century? And what does population growth mean for our future? Will there be mass migration, overcrowded slums in megacities covering continents, diseases and pollution, chaos and violence over energy, water and food, and a human species focused only on sustaining itself? Will population growth destroy our way of life, or is this prophecy just ungrounded panic?
Abortion.
In the 1960s, population growth reached an unprecedented rate, which led to apocalyptic prophecies. The poor would procreate endlessly and overrun the developed world. The legend of overpopulation was born. But it turns out high birth rates and the population explosion are not permanent features of some cultures or countries, but rather part of a four-step process the whole world is going through: the demographic transition. Most developed countries have already made the transition, while other countries are doing it right now. Let's go back to the 18th century, when the entire world, including Europe, was in the first stage of the demographic transition. By today's standards, Europe was worse off than a developing region, suffering from poor sanitation, poor diets, and poor medicine. A lot of people were born, but lots of them died just as fast, so the population hardly grew. Women had between 4 and 6 children, but only 2 of them would reach adulthood. Then the Industrial Revolution happened in the UK and brought the greatest change in human living conditions since the Agricultural Revolution. People went from being peasants to workers. Manufactured goods were mass-produced and became widely available. The sciences flourished and advanced transportation, communication, and medicine. The role of women in society shifted and created the conditions for their emancipation. Slowly, this economic progress not only formed a middle class, but also raised standards of living and healthcare for the poor working population. The second transition stage started. Better food supplies, hygiene and medicine meant people stopped dying all the time, especially so at a very young age. The result was a population explosion, doubling the UK's population between 1750 and 1850. The main reason families used to have lots of children was that only a few of them were likely to survive. Now that had changed, so the third stage of the transition was set in motion, fewer babies were conceived, and population growth slowed down. Eventually, a balance emerged. Fewer people were dying and fewer children were born, so the death rate and birth rate became stable. Britain had reached the fourth stage of the demographic transition. This didn't only happen in the UK. More and more countries went through the 4 stages. First, many births and many deaths due to bad living conditions. Second, better living conditions leading to fewer deaths and a population explosion. Third, fewer deaths resulting in fewer births, and population growth came to an end. But if birth rates have dropped so much, why is the population still growing so fast? Well, the children born in the population explosion of the 70s and 80s are having kids themselves now, leading to a noticeable spike in overall population. But they are having far fewer children on average than their parents. The average today is 2.5. It was 5 40 years ago. So as this generation gets older and fertility declines further, the rate of population growth will keep on slowing. This is true for every country. In the West, we tend to overlook progress in other regions of the world, but actually most of the world's countries have made it to the 4th stage. Just look at Bangladesh. In 1971, the average woman had 7 kids, but 25% of them would die before the age of 5. In 2015, the mortality rate was down to 3.8%, and women had only 2.2 kids on average. This is the rule, not an exception. We're not special, we just had a head start. It took developed countries about 80 years to reduce fertility from more than 6 children to less than 3. Others are catching up fast. Malaysia and South Africa did it in only 34 years. Bangladesh took just 20. Iran managed it in 10 years. All these countries that are catching up didn't have to start from scratch, and the more support they get, the faster they catch up. This is why programs that help lower child mortality or help poor nations develop are so important. No matter what your motivation is, whether you dream of a world where all people live in freedom and wealth, or you just want fewer refugees coming to your country, the simple truth is that it's beneficial to you personally if people on the other side of the globe can live a good life. And we are getting there. The percentage of people living in extreme poverty has never been as low as today. So the future of global population growth is actually not an apocalyptic prophecy at all. It's a promise. Population growth will come to an end. The UN forecasts that the 12th billionth human will never be born at all. And as the development level of the world rises, the number of people with a higher education will increase tenfold. Countries who used to be in need will help advance development instead. More people is going to mean more people able to advance our species. This video was a collaboration with Max Rosa and Our World in Data, where he explores the progress of humanity through research and data visualization.
It's not a minute. Let's watch that one more time. The Fortnite story.
Deleting the week.
That was
What
fun.
we
That
didn't
was
talk
fun.
about, what you're gonna see on the test, are some of these population pyramids.
No.
So this is what demographers use to get a quick look at countries' population. So we're gonna watch a short video on that one.
Oh, nation put it over his dog.
Russia, with the largest territory in the world, has roughly the same total population as Nigeria, a country 1/16 its size. But this similarity won't last long. One of the populations is rapidly growing, while the other is slowly declining. What can this tell us about the two countries? Population statistics are some of the most important data social scientists and policy experts have to work with. But understanding a country's situation and making accurate predictions requires knowing not just the total size of the population, but its internal characteristics, such as age and gender distribution. So how can we keep track of all that data in a way that makes it easy to comprehend? Complex data is more easily interpreted through visualization, and one of the ways that demographers represent the internal distribution of a population is the population pyramid. Here, the data is divided by gender, with females on one side and males on the other. The population numbers are shown for each 5-year age interval, starting from 0 to 4 and continuing up to 100 and up. These intervals are grouped together into pre-reproductive, 0 to 14, reproductive, 15 to 44, and post-reproductive years, 45 and up. Such a population pyramid can be a powerful predictor of future population trends. For example, Rwanda's population pyramid shows it to be a fast-growing country, with most of the population being in the youngest age groups at the bottom of the pyramid.
Where's there a
So
lot?
this is Rwanda, what's gonna happen?
They're gonna have
It's
a.
gonna get big.
They're gonna have kids die.
You gotta wait till those younger.
So they're in the midst of a population explosion. Okay? And as this part of the population moves through, the country has to be concerned. So right now, what's gonna be some problems Rwanda's gonna face?
Overpopulate. Too many poor people. They're all dead. Too many die.
Okay, you got education issues you're gonna have to deal with because your education age, you have a huge population right here. Eventually, they'll move up through this pyramid through the years, and each one then is gonna have new concerns. That's what a demographer, why they use population pyramid. It helps you predict and talk about countries.
Number will grow rapidly in the coming years. As today's children reach their reproductive years and have children of their own, the total population is almost certain to double within the next few decades. For our second example, let's look at Canada, where most of the population is clustered around the middle of the graph. Because there are less people in the pre-reproductive age groups than there are in the reproductive ones, The population will grow more slowly as the number of people reaching their reproductive years decreases. Finally, let's look at Japan. Because the majority of its population is in its post-reproductive years, and the number of people is smaller at each younger interval, this means that at current rates of reproduction, the population will begin to decline as fewer and fewer people reach reproductive age.
That's why Japan is trying to do incentives to what? To have this lower group have more children. Because otherwise their population is gonna go down and they won't be able to replace and handle some of the jobs that they need to get.
Comparing these three population pyramids side by side shows us three different stages in the demographic transition as a country moves from a pre-industrial society to one with an industrial or post-industrial economy. Countries that have only recently begun the process of industrialization typically see an increase in life expectancy and a fall in child mortality rates as a result of improvements in medicine, sanitation, and food supply, while birth rates remain constant, leading to a population boom. Developing countries that are farther along in the industrialization process begin to see a fall in birth rates due to factors such as increased education and opportunities for women outside of child rearing, and a move from rural to urban living that makes having large families less economically advantageous. Finally, countries in advanced stages of industrialization reach a point where both birth and death rates are low, and the population remains stable or even begins to decline. Now let's take a look at the projected population pyramids for the same three countries in 2050. What do these tell us about the expected changes in each country's population? And what kinds of factors can alter the shape of these future pyramids? A population pyramid can be useful not only as a predictor of a country's future, but as a record of its past. Russia's population pyramid still bears the scars of World War II, which explains both the fewer numbers of elderly men compared to elderly women, and the relatively sudden population increase as soldiers returned from the war and normal life resumed. China's population pyramid reflects the establishment of the one-child policy 35 years before, which prevented a population boom such as that of Rwanda, but also led to sex-selective abortions, resulting in more male children than female children. Finally, the pyramid for the United States shows the baby boom that followed World War II. As you can see, population pyramids tell us far more about a country than just a set of numbers, by showing both where it's been and where it's headed within a single image. And in today's increasingly interconnected world, facing issues such as food shortages, ecological threats, and economic disparities, it is increasingly important for both scientists and policymakers to have a rich and complex understanding of populations and the factors affecting them.
Guys, Anderson, this.
Yes, this one.
Ooh, check, check, check. Check, check, check,
Say Joey Longo.
Where?
Joey Longo.
Yeah, Joey Longo signed the letter of intent to play for Michigan, and I told him he should be playing for Nebraska. Then I need one. Does that make sense? Anybody have questions about that? Because you'll see some questions like that on the test. So a population pyramid is gonna look like this. What's across the bottom? This is gonna be the numbers of people. And on one side, you're gonna have what? Okay, on one side, you're gonna have males. On the other side, you're gonna have female. And then here, you're gonna have what? What's this axis?
Age.
These are the ages. So you can get a picture, if you see, again, if you see pyramids that look like this, that tells you what?
They're about to hit baby boom.
Baby boom.
About that.
Tells you something about their economy a little bit too. What's it tell you?
They're rural.
They're poor.
They're developing.
Okay, they're developing. Again, why are there fewer older people?
They all died when they were growing
Okay,
up.
cause the life expectancy, okay, is not as high in developing nations. They showed even in our country, like 1959, there were, or 1950s, it was 59. Well, that was the whole world, I think they were looking at. United States life expectancy today, I think, is in the 70s. And whose is always higher?
Girls.
Males.
Women. How come that is?
More male suicides.
Cause what?
More male suicides.
You think so? No.
That's like 80%.
There is more males.
More stupid people. Boys are more stupid.
Yeah. It's not stupid, it's kind of more of like a full send.
Yeah. It's the full set, you know.
It's be like, no
It's
balls,
like getting on a
jump over that,
skateboard
you
and
know,
holding
ball.
on to it.
Yeah, alright,
Chalk or
jump off the
something.
cliff.
Not when you're 95, you can't hold on to a truck and go on a
Women tend to be healthier because they eat healthier.
Yeah.
They know how to manage stress better. Okay?
Oh, I guess I'm
Oh,
male.
they do not manage stress better, no.
What,
Marisol
have you ever been on
and
TikTok?
Luke. Is this Lucas
Yeah,
or
no,
Luke?
not at all.
I'm crying. I need to record myself real quick. Okay, there you go.
Did you turn yours in?
I just turned mine in.
Yeah, women do
Like,
not
on
handle
that.
stress better. Have you been to
I didn't mind
This guy's
it.
just
I think
balling
I'm
out.
So what's our label supposed
Who
to
just
be?
cries and goes, let me turn on this camera real
I
quick.
know.
What's our label supposed to be?
People per square mile.
And I think maybe you need to look at those. It looks like you don't know how to do them.
Oh, you need mental health.
Tommy said no.
Stop. Get some help.
Did you label it correctly?
Probably not.
Just, no. Tommy.
Raise your hand if you want to have an we can decide. Raise your hand if you want to have teams for the review.
Yes.
Let's do it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, raise your hand if you'd like to play the board game or the bell game.
Board.
Bored.
Board. Is that where you can steal and stuff?
The board game or the bell game?
I don't understand.
What are these games?
What's the
The bell
difference?
game.
No.
Bell game is we send two people up against each other. First one to ring the bell.
Alright, yeah, let's do that.
Gets
Board
the
game,
answer.
board game.
Bell.
Yeah.
Bell.
Board
The
game.
board game is we send two people up. The first one to write the correct answer.
Oh, bell. Bell.
Can we just do neither?
Let's do bell.
Raise your hand for board game.
Also, I feel hurt.
Raise your hand for bell game.
I feel.
For anything.
Can we vote neither?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't get mad at me. Wait.
I know, I'm cold now.
Who's on
Maybe get boys versus girls.
One thing you're just like, hey guys, check out my one shoulder.
Yeah.
Which side am I on?
This crisp elbow.
2,
Yeah.
4,
You can do boys versus girls.
2, 4, 6.
Oh yeah, bud.
How many want boys versus girls?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, gender equality, boys.
You go right equal fights.
No, that's a terrible idea.
Equal rights. Equal fight.
We lose as a appeal.
Watch Logan. Equal fights,
So
equal
bad.
fights doesn't work. Cause we'll just get false DPs.
That's Bach. For you right there.
Ding ding.
You have to ring a bell?
Yeah.
Why did I push the button?
I thought this one you just tap.
I'm gonna forget that you have to bring it. I go throw it at the person. I'll be like, oh my gosh.
Sorry, I have to read.
So sorry.
Sorry,
I
Send
can't.
two people up.
Let's go.
Logan, I'm
No, it's fine. I'll let you
you.
go first. I'll let you go first.
A
Okay.
boy and a girl.
I'm not going first.
You just stuck.
No, I said.
Tommy, what should I do? What should I take? I don't know which side I should take. What's better?
Other way.
That moves somewhere else. I
Yeah,
don't
no,
like it.
definitely this side. Definitely this side.
Logan, take it now.
No girl wants to go
go.
against Logan.
Some girl go off.
Yeah.
Go off.
Oh, you're done.
Big brain versus big brain. We have bigger brain.
Big.
Alright.
Lamar.
Hands behind the back.
Need like a good spot.
Hands behind your back.
Oh, you come first to see.
First question is, which country of the world is the largest in population?
China.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my god, oh my god.
Hold on, Sierra, hold on.
I'm still so don't even try me, Luke.
It's fair.
Lucas, get up here, let's go. Boy versus girl, let's go.
Don't go.
Yep.
Who's going?
Bob's
Rated?
in the head of the tattoo. Females.
Come on, ladies.
That's why you do so.
Okay, we're gonna go right in order since she was there, so Bethel's next.
I
Why can't it be like
should be
Then
men.
Maggie.
Guy term just
Oh,
'cause
no, it
he
should
is
be
iron
Arian.
and
He's
guys
the
are.
You can be here since you're here. Okay?
rather have already.
Sweet, let me just get a little closer, Gibson. You mess this up, I never forgive you.
I know.
My hands are really sweaty. This isn't gonna end well.
Cool.
Avocados from Mexico.
Hello?
Which continent has the fewest people?
Africa.
Bro!
What is it? Asia.
No.
No.
Anyone?
Australia. I
Arian.
didn't hear her, but Europe. That's what
No.
I said.
Australia!
No.
What?
That's what I said.
Japan!
No.
Oh my
Antarctica.
Yeah.
Oh man, we're stupid!
Come on.
Oh god.
Alright, I have no faith in Luke.
But you have to have all the faith in the world. If I get this right, you owe me $1.
You get it wrong, you owe me 5.
Look better way.
What are the people that study population called?
Demographic.
No!
Demographics.
Demographer. Let's go. I got that. No, she said that after like the 5th try.
Your mask over your eyes.
Tommy, go!
She's like demography.
Xavier going after Tommy.
See, Tommy's big
Callie
brain.
or
Let's go,
Maggie?
Tom.
Maggie.
Callie,
Maggie.
Callie.
It's gonna be like
Jump.
Go.
In every continent in the world.
Not even that.
In every country in the world.
What type of country tends to be more urban?
Developed.
Yes.
Yes, sir! Good stuff!
Yes, come in.
Brayden, go up.
How's your hand?
Lucas and Brandon should be in your
Right in the first
Sam, Brayden's going.
Oh,
You
no,
wanna sit
no,
here?
no, Sam, you can go. Brandon, you go next.
Brayden is our team
I don't
captain.
care what you say.
Right,
Stop
just
saying
came
you
up?
don't hate what it looks, I swear.
Maggie did.
I don't want to know.
When is that?
Kat, you're just so disappointed. I'm just gonna stand here.
How many
Here's my back, Kelly.
Who's that?
how many people are in the world?
7 million.
Oh my
You can do that.
Literally every video we watched said 8 million, but
No, it's a simple.
no, 7.4 in 2016.
Yeah,
Yeah, well.
Kid?
technically
Yeah, that's right.
it's not
See,
even-
nice of you.
it's not even- Yeah.
I don't talk to you.
Brandon, you go.
Pencil or Lily?
Lily, you can go.
Go, Marisol, you can go.
Oh my gosh, just
It's
go!
not that bad, just go.
Yes, go.
Slay girl.
Shut up.
Shut up!
What drives a free market economy?
They got no idea.
Like the problems you're saying?
What drives it? What makes it go?
Not that hard.
Confusion.
You have an answer? Ariam,
Businesses.
No.
Luke.
No!
Competition.
I know the name. I can't see.
I'll give you that.
Nathan, go.
I mean, that wasn't the right answer.
Yeah.
You're going next.
I suck at this.
Oh, what are you talking about? Your arms are longer than her.
That has
Entire
nothing to do
body.
with it. It's literally nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Most of the people in the world live on what continent?
don't even remember the
Africa.
Africa.
Let me think.
What is the
North
country
America.
with most people?
I didn't snap.
Bruh!
Whoever raised their hand, you
My
can't
hands
raise
are
it
not over my
again.
shoulder.
Can't raise it again. Maggie?
Asia?
Yes.
Yes,
Amazing!
I don't know.
You know the continents.
Healing it too.
Huh?
We literally done it like 8 times.
I don't know.
Okay, don't worry, guys. I won.
Asia.
No.
Yes,
You lost speaking privileges.
If Keelan loses,
What
she's
type
the
of
best.
economic system does China have?
Socialist / communist / bunch of other stuff.
No.
What?
Ha,
Come on.
economy. Money.
What type of economy does China have?
Oh.
I would have said the same thing.
Come here.
Dang.
I'm gonna go.
Ella Boo!
I'm Logan.
Say that again. Yeah. Just no.
What did the United States just have that deals with this chapter?
Oh, I know
We're
it.
still in the process of it. Because they have one every 10 years.
Oh.
Census.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, let's go.
Sucker.
I didn't even know it.
Yeah, Aria.
No, you're too smart. Go away. Go bring someone else.
No,
Alright,
I'm-
sorry.
I'm-
You literally have to
Hold
go.
on now.
Hold on. Why be like that?
Why would
Wait.
you do that?
He said go away. I went
No,
away.
no.
Leave me
Why
alone.
would you listen to James?
Yeah, why would you?
I just thought of something bad.
We don't care. We do not care. I'll let you know.
When a group of people move from one country to another country, that process.
How are you
is
so
called-
slow? Like slow motion.
Just let the wind.
Well, I grabbed it, but she just grabbed it from under.
Well, maybe go faster than mile an hour. Yeah, you did. You go like this.
I swear, Ariam Speedy Gonzalez.
No, I'm speeding than Ariane.
Oh yeah.
Yes, Sierra. No. Yes, Sierra.
What about the other 4 years?
Rate it.
I just gotta be faster.
What is a country's infrastructure?
Something that is inside of it and you like build out of
Primary, secondary. Are those-
That's relationships you're thinking of, I think.
Bridges, roads.
Like literally.
You got this, Meg. Let's go, Meg. Actually, no, it's Maggie. I got something in the bleeder. Yeah, Maggie.
Rose Mill Base. We are one.
Actually, yes, Meg.
What is the reason populations grow? I'm looking for a specific reason.
She was like,
Oh my.
oh, wait.
And gotta have a second part to that.
People come in the country. I worry about it.
Arian,
Birth and death rates.
yeah.
Oh!
Tell me why they
Logan
grow.
had it. Logan had it.
choking right now.
So you have to tell me why they grow.
When people are born, it increases. When people die, it decreases. That's not right.
The birth rate's higher than death rate.
Oh.
Thank you, Logan.
She's got that. Oh, I also have
And then we have 4 points. I have half our team's points.
Tommy, I have 9 over 8 points.
Cool.
Don't, oh, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I do. I have 9 over 8 points. You guys can't keep on getting.
What type of countries have the highest growth rate?
No, no.
Switchy Boodle.
Undeveloped countries.
Oh my gosh.
What's the term
Term for what?
for that?
Oh.
Can I use the bathroom?
Tommy!
Yes,
Developing!
Yeah, they're literally I'm leaving you, okay? Can I still use the bathroom?
Oh, I thought you were smarter than me.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kelly, if I don't use the bathroom,
Are you sure they're on?
Read it.
What'd you say?
Marisol, go.
Or you could have just gone. No.
Yeah, Bethel.
Blue Bethel.
You can do it, Brayden.
Yeah, I know.
I believe in you.
If you want Sam got married, wouldn't be Sam killed him.
Yo, Sam's gonna get married to Ben.
What on that population pyramid on the video showed why Russia had fewer males in one group of ages?
Yes, Brandon.
Let's go, Brayden.
I should have gone up. So I didn't go.
Nathan, you go.
Nathan, you're going.
Let's go, Shorty.
You have to go.
Marisol.
Why are you telling me I have to?
Because she's not going to go. I need to get her to go because we go and to go, you know?
Explain the law of supply and demand.
Oh.
Nathan,
Nathan's hands under that.
Low supply means high demand, and high demand means low supply.
What about prices?
The more stuff there is, the lower the prices. The less stuff there is, the higher the prices.
Let's go, Nathan.
Let's go.
Yeah, you could have just.
I'll go, but it's me last time. I did not like that one bit. Not at all. One bit at all?
What development led to the first increase in population?
Industrialization.
Before that.
I don't know.
Oh.
Sam.
Agriculture.
Our class is so
Okay.
smart.
And developed. I don't know. Should have done
1B, bro. We're hacking. Hacking.
The amount of money that the average person earns in a year is called what?
Minimum wage.
Oh my gosh.
I said wage.
Bruh!
There's no difference.
What was the question?
The amount of money that the average person in a country earns per year is called what?
Salary.
Income.
More
Taxes.
specific.
Income.
Taxes.
Profit.
Annual income.
On you annual
Oh.
income this big.
Oh, wait, that's how
It's called the per capita income,
I'm gonna say per capita.
See, none of you.
and a high per capita income belongs with what kind of country?
What?
Developed. Right.
Wait, who's going?
Seven.
I'll go.
Yeah.
You mess up. Jameson found a fresh 10-pack in my locker. It's a fruit punch.
Overpopulation is a myth because it's not a people problem, it's what?
It's
It's
Wait. Four. Alright, I'll give you.
It's a balance time.
You're so
Explain that.
No, I'll give you 9. Because I want to try.
It's probably invaluable. I mean, because so many people have more resources, they're not using this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why can't I pronounce it?
You go up.
Yes, Sierra.
Go up, Sierra. Yes, Sierra. She's going up there.
still losing by a lot, but good job.
We're only down by 7. 6. Nice doing business.
No way you do those all at once.
No, it's not the film.
Thank you.
I have 100 people on 10 square miles of land. What's the population density?
A lot of people touch around land. Easy. This is so easy.
10 what?
10 people per square mile.
No, humans.
Come on, I'll
I said humans.
Yeah, Lou.
I said humans.
Boys, when is like the males like wanting something like that?
Yeah.
Okay, listen.
When is the boys ever winning anything academic?
Right?
Is this our first time actually winning at something academic?
Tommy, I can make you feel bad in one sentence, in one word. Adriana.
Every time. Wait. Oh, Leo was going.
Wendy did. It's been so much fun. Wendy on the whole next week too.
I'm happy because
We said that no country really is entirely one economic system or the other. So there really should be called what?
Hackers.
Someone grab the bell.
Thank you.
Somewhere in the middle.
This is why your parents don't want you. This is why.
Tommy!
All right, boys. Now we're officially doubling them, but we
Nathan,
still
go.
need to step it
I
up.
don't care, you're going.
No,
Nathan,
no,
go.
Lucas, you're
Nathan, go.
Lucas, don't look that up.
Whatever.
Imagine not being able to make that jump.
I doubt
Lucas, that's a pretty bad shirt. You should change it.
You might change
In a free market economy, the goal is to make lots of money. Or what's the term for that?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, just grab the pedal and sit out.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, grab the bell.
Aria.
Is this? I'm stepping up. Stepping up. Let's go, Ryan. Let's go. Come on. Come on, son. Come on. Come on. Quick as hands.
Should I just like grab it, not cast? Be like, oh.
I don't even care what fingers.
Very.
What is the major reason most countries begin to increase greatly in population? What? No.
Developing. We didn't finish the
Because
question.
they normally have, they don't have a lot of children who are going into the reproductive phase, so then they're.
Oh, it has to be a girl now? Do we have a girl?
Why are you going through my
We gotta
stuff?
throw it out. It's because the death rate begins to fall because of medical advances.
Nathan, go.
I'll let you do it.
We'll do 2 more.
Fine, great, go.
Alright, we need to cut your.
No, I don't want to do the last one.
Then go.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm doing.
I'll tell you what, you guys can pick one person each from your team, and we're gonna have them write it.
Logan.
I'll do it.
Logan.
Do we want Logan?
I
You're gonna write
have
it.
5-6 points.
Listen,
Thomas.
Logan.
Yeah, questions are like,
Really ask
your questions like, what does Antarctica start with? What letter?
No, absolutely no.
what the letter A starts with what letter?
It doesn't really like that.
Antarctica starts with what letter? Q.
There you go.
I don't have
Tag.
that.
Yeah.
It's not know what letters they are.
We will allow 1 tag off,
What?
and you have 60 seconds.
Aria, be ready.
Yeah, you're allowed 1 tag off, okay? But if you look on each other's, you disqualify yourself.
Don't choose, but don't choose
Yeah.
that
Go
one.
left.
Sorry,
If you look on
guys.
somebody else's, you disqualify.
Yeah, you're just gonna be like this the
Question.
whole time. You're just gonna
Okay.
kind of notice.
Write down as many characteristics as you can to distinguish between developed and developing countries?
Ariam.
There's tag on, that's a.
Why didn't you tag in Sierra?
Well, I do.
Ariam, come on. What is that word?
Lower population.
No, not you, him.
Shut up!
Kelly. I don't know.
Shut up.
I don't know any.
Words.
I don't know, Kelly. You're killing me.
Time.
You spelled 4 wrong.
What?
So,
P-O-U-R.
That's 2 O's.
That's oh.
per capita income is 1.
Good job, look.
High death rate.
Medical advances or technology would be 1. So you have 2.
Oh, I heard the question wrong. You just had to do.
I didn't. I forgot. I did. I'm not doing it.
I will count this as like the growth rate.
So 1.
That's 3.
That's 3. 3.
3 points out of all that.
What?
Ah.
They do have a higher.
Woo!
Alright, you guys need to get.
Yeah. 0.
4 has to do with per capita income, so that's 1.
Oh yeah!
You got 1.
Yeah.
Well, more people, but you have it on the wrong side.
Alright, they need 6 more.
Alright, whatever. I don't care.
That
I
would
feel
be over
strong.
there.
You need 7
It's
more.
my job.
What else should we have put?
Education.
Technology, education.
Should have looked at technology,
Migration.
education,
The economy.
Literacy rates.
literacy rates.
And we chose me.
A big one you haven't named. Urban and rural. Okay? Urban and rural. All those you should be able to look at and tell the difference between.
No, we got math. Best class
Now,
ever.
did people turn them in and take them back, or am I supposed to still have a couple reviews?
What? Turn them in?
No. I'm talking about the people that weren't done.
I have mine right here.
Hit stop right here.
Ew.
The math